So here in the UK, we are entering our 7th week of lockdown. And I know different countries have imposed different rules at different times, but I think that no matter where in the world you're watching this, you will have had, or may still be having, some experience of lockdown and only being able to leave your home for a very limited set of reasons. This lockdown has been going on for so long now that I think most of us have found a new normal. I'm not saying we like it, we don't like this situation, but we have had to adapt and find a new routine and get used to a completely different way of doing things. Nowadays, if you want to catch up with your friends or family, it's got to be via Zoom rather than face to face. We're nearly all working from home. We're keeping a social distance between us and other people at all times. I noticed the other day as I was walking down the street that I just automatically cross to the other side of the pavement now when I see someone coming towards me, or even walking the road actually if necessary. And it's funny that we're all doing that, whereas just a few weeks ago, if someone crossed to the other side of the road to give you a wide berth, you'd give them a bit of a funny look. And it's the same at the supermarket. I don't expect to just turn up and be able to walk straight in anymore. I'm always expecting there to be a socially distanced queue outside so we can make sure there aren't too many people going in at once. And then of course you've got that strange one-way system around the store so none of us get too close to each other. And again, I noticed the other day that I wasn't even thinking about it. It just kind of become normal. I'm not saying that we like this new normal, but what I am noticing is that we are adjusting to this strange, crazy way of living. We are adapting to what seemed completely unthinkable just a few weeks ago, because it's not new to us anymore. It's not unfamiliar, and there is a new normal to this whole situation. So what has any of this stuff and these lockdown restrictions got to do with sobriety? Well, quite a lot actually. Because one of the things I hear from people when they contact me for help because they want to stop drinking is this concern that they can't do it and they can't picture what life's going to be like without alcohol, and they can't imagine how they would go to a party and not drink, and they can't even think how they would come home from a stressful day at work and not pour a glass of wine. There are all these things that they can't imagine or certainly can't picture becoming normal and becoming routine and becoming something that they just get used to and adapt to. And I get it. I really understand that. Quitting drinking requires us to make a lot of changes, and us humans naturally don't tend to like change. We're not big fans of it. But the next time you find yourself talking yourself out of quitting drinking or taking a break from booze because you just can't imagine what it's like, or you can't picture yourself ever getting used to such and such a situation, well, when that happens, I want to invite you to pause and reflect on this current crisis that we're in and all the changes that you have adapted to over the past few weeks and how successfully you've done that. Because I bet you've surprised yourself with what has become normal to you recently. Just imagine going back in time to January 2020 and trying to explain to that New Year version of you what life is like in May, just a few months later. That January version of you would never have believed how much could change in just a few months. And I bet they wouldn't believe that you would be coping with it and adjusting to it and dealing with a completely different way of life. Trust me, if you can find a new normal in the middle of a global pandemic, well, you can find a new normal in alcohol-free living too. And it's very important, I add at this point, that obviously, unlike the coronavirus, alcohol-free living is actually a good thing. It's a massive lifestyle upgrade. It's going to help you live your best life. It's going to feel brilliant in the long term. It just takes a little bit of adjusting to at first. Like all things, it takes time for it to become your new normal. So this is why I go on and on and on about taking a proper break from booze, because you need to give yourself a chance to test drive sobriety properly and for it to become your new normal. You have to let that happen before judging sobriety and seeing whether it's really for you. If you only ever stop from, I don't know, Monday to Thursday each week and then you drink all weekend, well, you aren't experiencing that. In fact, you're probably doing the worst thing, because the first few days of sobriety are some of the hardest. And if you're repeating them every single week, then you're repeating the toughest bit. If that's all your experience of sobriety is, you are bound to think that alcohol-free living sucks. So you have to take a proper break from booze, test drive sobriety properly in order to be able to decide whether it really is something you want to do. So I know this is a stressful time and we are all just trying to find some silver linings to this. But one of those silver linings is learning that you are better at dealing with change than you think. And that bodes really well for making a lifestyle upgrade, such as cutting out alcohol. In the comments below, I would love to know what you've learned about yourself over the past few weeks. What surprised you? What are you proud of? It doesn't have to be sobriety related, although I always love hearing how you're getting on that front. So I'm Kate B. Take care of yourself this week, and I'll speak to you soon.